the topic of this video, which is following your dreams.
I was shy as a kid. This has been my dream.
It can make your life incredible. It can also ruin your life.
Do anything to achieve it, making me pretty unhappy.
You're bound to have a burnout. You sometimes forget the joy of all these things. It can actually make you more successful. But let's see how this goes. When I was little, I had a big dream, which was to become a hairdresser. After that, I wanted to be a truck driver. Then, when I was about 12 years old, I dreamt about being an actor. Then, in my teenage years, I had this grand dream of playing in the NBA. Well, apparently none of this worked out because then I wouldn't be sitting here, but here we are, so let's see how this goes. Welcome to the Communication Couch. This episode might be a little shorter, but maybe also not. We'll see in the production. But here's the thing, I don't really know if people have the patience to watch these 12 to 15 minute long videos. So I would appreciate if you let me down in a comment. No, if you let me know in a comment down below if you like the longer videos or maybe I should make them shorter. Also, whatever the case, make sure to watch this video until the end because that's what all the cool people do. This is the very third episode of the show, which is very important because it's almost the fifth, and if it was the fifth, that would be kind of like half an anniversary. So I'd say things are getting pretty serious. The topic of this video might not have the same weight for everyone, but if you're watching this video, I guess that it does for you as it does for me, which is this majestic idea of following your dreams. We've seen these stories in the movies, we read about them in magazines, back when anyone used to read magazines, we've read all about them in the internet. People deciding to pursue that one thing they're passionate about, preferably also quitting their job in a very spectacular fashion, overcoming great obstacles and ending up rich, famous, and good looking. The narrative is mostly pretty similar. Go all in and work extremely hard in the present moment so that you may achieve your goals and be happy in the future. And of course, everyone knows that this is very difficult, that you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and that even if you work very hard, there is still no guarantee that you will succeed. That is the price that you have to be aware of the moment you make that decision. Which is okay, because if you want to achieve more than other people, you have to put in more effort than other people. But as everything in life, following your dreams can be a very good thing, but it can also be very bad. There is a real dark side to chasing your dreams. I would even go as far as to say that as much as chasing your dreams can make your life incredible, it can also ruin your life. Let me tell you my experience.
Although I was shy as a kid, I became quite extroverted as a teenager. In high school and during my studies, I did a lot of different things. I was an amateur actor, I did a lot of sports, took part in student projects and exchanges, worked as a tourist entertainer, a little bit of everything. Through all of this, I discovered I had some talent for connecting with people, and it helped me develop my social skills. So in 2017, I started teaching public speaking and communication skills. Ever since, this has been my dream, and although I had jobs that I actually made a living with, I devoted myself to making this my full profession. At first, this felt incredible, because I finally knew what I wanted to do with my life, and fueled by motivational videos, I was ready to do anything to achieve it. I spent thousands of hours alone at home, making videos, writing my book, recording it as an audiobook, preparing for workshops and conferences, creating an online presence. But through all of this, I was isolating myself so much from my friends and family that the thing that I was supposed to be good at, and the reason I started the whole thing in the first place, being among people, almost disappeared from my life. For a big part of the past few years, I was chasing my dreams, but in a way that was making me pretty unhappy.
In particular, there was a time when I was writing my master's thesis and making video courses at the same time. So I very rarely hung out with my friends. I very rarely went to visit my family. I spent most of my time alone at home. I always felt like I didn't have time for anything else, although I didn't even have deadlines, not even for my master's thesis. But I had this paranoid thinking that if I have to use every day, every hour, if I waste one day, I might fail. I might not become as successful as I want to. And this kind of pressure just drove me crazy. In the end, just a lot of time I just felt so anxious and so miserable that I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to concentrate. And the worst thing is this gave me bad conscience because I wasn't working, and this was adding even more fuel to the anxiety. So it was just a vicious circle. So the end of last year, I figured it was time to remodel my life. Looking back, I realized I had been seeing professional growth as the same thing as personal growth, but they are actually two different things. The goal of personal development is being happy. The goal of professional development is being successful. But we want to be successful because we believe that is a path towards happiness, which is all right. The problem emerges when you see success as the only path to happiness. Because then you're telling yourself that if you are not successful, you can't be happy. So you automatically put so much pressure on yourself, and at some point you're bound to have a burnout. If you're pushing yourself so hard that the work constantly makes you unhappy, you actually failed right at the start. What I'm currently trying to do is what I like to call diversifying my happiness. So in other words, going back and rediscovering the other things in my life that made me happy. Do something with no other purpose than having fun with it, like playing an instrument or drawing, writing, learning a new sport, playing video games, or simply going on an adventure. If you get obsessed with chasing dreams, you sometimes forget the joy of all these things. But when you go and do them again, it gives you a fresh perspective on things, and it reminds you that you were happy before, and you can be happy even if your dreams don't work out the way you'd like them to. It's like you're sitting in a chair, and each of these activities in your life is one leg of the chair. So even if one of them breaks, for example, if you're not as successful in your career as you would like, you know that there will still be 3 more legs to support you, and you will still be happy. And that takes an enormous load off your back. It takes away the pressure that your career has to work out in that exact way you want it to, so you can approach it in a more relaxed way and enjoy the journey. But what's best, in my experience, doing this can actually make you more successful because all these other activities you pursue give you a wider perspective, more creativity, and more originality in your profession. And in addition to that, they make you a much more interesting and charismatic person in the eyes of others. And science even shows that when you take this approach, you're also more likely to hit that subscribe button. And if you're one of the cool people who watched the whole video to this point, write a comment saying "Cool Kids Rule." Comments help the algorithms so that this channel can also be more successful. Thank you very much. So the bottom line is, I'm not saying that you should not chase your dreams. With all my heart, I believe that chasing your dreams is the best thing you can do, and it makes your life a wonderful adventure. But what I am saying is, don't make this the only thing in your life. Because making your happiness dependent on one single thing is foolish. Life has so much to offer in so many regards, and you have to trust yourself that even if your life doesn't play out exactly the way you planned it to, you will still find a way to be happy. Thank you, and have a great day.